So me and Victoria met when we were 7 years old. We were in grade 1 at Winona Public School. And when I first came to school, my first day of school, Victoria wasn't actually at school, she was on vacation. So I didn't meet her until 3 days later. But because I was new to the school, there was a lot of kids in our class, and they didn't have a desk for me, so I actually had to sit in Tori's desk because she wasn't there. So she came back and I was sitting in her desk, and she walked right up to me, and she was just so welcoming, and she just asked me if I wanted to be her best friend, which was a little bit like, oh. But no, she asked me if I wanted to be her best friend, and kind of that was where our friendship started. Early on in our friendship, I decided that I wanted to invite her to church because I had grown up in the church, and it was just a regular thing for me. And as a kid, you know, everything's simple as a kid, you know. You just ask simple questions and there's simple answers. Like, we were only 7 years old, and so I asked her if she wanted to come to church on Sunday morning to kids' church, and she said yes.
I was still trying to find myself, and I loved being able to go to the church and dance and sing with my friends and, you know, have that bond with everyone around me. And also then I was, you know, preteen, 11, trying to figure out where I belong in the crowd at school more than at the crowd at church. And so, you know, you would do anything to be popular, so even if it means, you know, dropping friends, which isn't a good thing, but Abby was always my rock, and she kind of grounded me, and she was the closest thing I had to God. Yeah, it's important to have a friend that you can have like that, you know, someone you can still talk to at school, but someone you can be so trustful of. And even when I wasn't comfortable, you know, going back to church, I knew that I was comfortable having Abby around me, so she was my guide to keep going back. Well, I think, you know, looking back, I knew nothing, and now I've put so much of my trust in God, and my life has, you know, changed because I don't have to rely on anybody else, and I know that I can rely on God. I aspire to have a relationship with God as Abby does. She's like such an inspiration to me, and I wish that someday I could get to her point where she's so in love with God, and I want to be where she is.
Through my friendship with Victoria and this journey that we've been on, you know, trying to help you come to know more about God and how you can put your trust in Him, I have learned that sharing your faith with people who don't believe the same things as you is not as hard as we think it is. You know, I think a lot of times we're encouraged to go out into the world and tell people about Jesus, but we always think it's so difficult because we're scared of the reaction that we're going to get, or scared of how they're going to think about us. But I've learned through this experience that it's a lot easier to tell people about Jesus, because all you have to do is just tell them that He loves them. People think that, you know, going into the world and make disciples of all the nations, like it says in the Bible, is going to another country and going on missions trips. But there's a mission field in your own school. There's a missions field right in your neighborhood or in your families. And, you know, maybe reaching out to someone is as close to the desk next to you at school, maybe just telling them that God loves them.
There's a good reason why God put Abby in my neighborhood, and He had a plan for me, and because He loves me so much, I got blessed with like the bestest friend ever, and someone who introduced me to God.
God puts people in each and every one of our lives for specific reasons. He puts us in specific circumstances where He wants us to reach out to people.
There's one person that you're thinking of right now that you know, you're kind of on the edge, like, do I bring them, do I not bring them, am I gonna get judged for it? But maybe you could have the same impact on their life as Abby had on mine.